Hey everyone, this is LuckySevenDX. Welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Rangers Shadows of Almia. In the last episode, we headed to the Chroma Highlands, get into the Chroma Ruins, and help Sven out clearing the Team Densun goons. Had to deal with some black mist and some other things along the way, but we're finally here at the ruins. What do you have to say, Mr. Explorer? They do kind of form a bit of a maze, so we're gonna have to solve this maze, get to Sven, and help him out in our official mission. Support Sven at the ruins. However you pronounce his name. Anyways, oh, hello Keith, I was going to talk to you, but apparently you want to talk to me instead. So there's shine lights that will allow us to, basically we have multiple floors this time. In order to head up a floor, you have to use a Drifblim. So Drifblim was a thing to get us across gaps. Drifblim is a thing that'll get us above, go up a floor. So actually there's pretty much no reason not to go ahead and just do that right away. So we're going to go ahead and capture a Drifblim and make good use of it to head for that second floor. There'll also be a tactic to go down a floor as well, though, so keep that in mind. If I could just, not hit the Pokemon, that'd be great. That was really close. Drifblim does have a few decent attacks, but it does have fairly low HP, which is kind of ironic because it has a lot of HP in the Pokemon world. Then again, I guess this isn't really HP, it's more like ability to become friends. I guess blimps that steal children are friendlier Pokemon? I don't know how it works, but apparently that's how it works. So, let's just go ahead and make our way over here. We're just gonna go ahead in here. It'll say a Drifblim will uplift you through the hole in the ceiling. And indeed, its move is actually called Elevate, not Uplift. I was gonna say it's called Uplift, but no, that would be false. So you wanna head up here because we're gonna wanna get the Pokemon that's up here. Just a small little room up here that has a Pupitar. So, dodge its charge, and we're gonna wanna need it. We're gonna want to have it for, its ability, basically. It'll be a 2-crush, I believe, but we're gonna need a 2-crush very soon. So, watch out, because it will sort of charge back and forth. It'll always do 1 charge and then 2 charges, so this time it'll charge twice, and then you have more opportunity to circle it. It's fairly fast for a Rock-type Pokemon, so be careful. It, definitely can catch you a little bit off guard sometimes, so charge back and forth, thank you, and more circles. Not the most difficult Pokemon to catch if you know its pattern. It's always 1 charge, then 2 charges. As long as you keep that in mind, it's actually fairly simple, but be careful about it. It can catch you off guard if you're not aware of the way it works in its pattern. So we now have a 2-crush on our team. That's precisely what we're going to want to have. So let's actually explore deeper into the Chroma Ruins now. We have a Pikachu here if we need to recharge, but we don't really need that. There's also a Hypno and a Duskull, both of them which will do the usual psychic ghost thing of warping around randomly. We're going to want the Hypno, but for now we're going to go ahead and just grab the Duskull. It'll do these fire things, just draw big loops, and you can capture it with relative ease, though. You just have to kind of make your loops a little bit bigger than you would normally for a Pokemon of that size, but you can handle it. So that's a Duskull in our inventory, or I always say our inventory, like Pokemon are just items to be used, but we have a Duskull basically. Also, apparently, I captured a Raptor at some point. Oh yeah, that's right. In between episodes, before I saved it while I was running the video, a Raptor kind of wrapped me and got captured, so it kind of happened off screen a little bit. Oh, there's the Hypno. And it's just as annoying as Drowsy is, basically. But Hypno is actually a Pokemon we're going to want to make use of a few times. There's going to be a few times we want to actually use Psi Power in this, so just watch out, because when it throws its little Hypno thing up in the air like that, it actually is going to have a second wave of energy balls, so its attack ends a bit later than you expect it to. Keep that in mind, it can catch you off guard as well. We're starting to get to the Pokemon that have pretty varied tactics, and do actually try fairly hard to trip you up a little bit, so just keep an eye out, learn the tactics. It is what these videos are for after all, so once you have Hypno and Pupitar, you can head over here and actually capture a Sableye as well if you so choose, but Sableye doesn't really have any use here. We're just adding to our browser, I suppose. So, also, by the way, Mega Sableye confirmed. Very exciting news. This is actually news that happened really recently. Of course, people watching the future who already have a Mega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire are going to be like, yeah, that's old news, but when I record this video, back in my day, there was a new thing called Mega Sableye, and everyone was like, he has a giant rupee for a shield. And it was new and spiffy and cool. But it only has 2 cuts, so unfortunately in this game, it is not new, or spiffy, or cool. So we need a 2-crush. That's precisely why I need to head upstairs and get the Pupitar, because we actually need to get in here for reasons. The reasons being, there's a Pokemon behind these walls that we actually are going to be required to use. And that Pokemon is Electabuzz. We're actually going to have to use make use of Flash a few times, actually, in this this cave of sorts, these runes. So, basically, run over here, grab yourself an Electabuzz, and we can go ahead and move forward from there. In fact, I think we're gonna need 2 Electabuzzes actually, so I'm probably gonna have to come back and grab this one at some point. I think I have a game plan there. Basically, this video is gonna be kind of me showing the most efficient way to get through Chroma Ruins, because it's really easy to just kind of have to backtrack if you don't plan ahead a little bit. So, especially if you're trying to keep Muck and Cherim, which luckily we'll soon be able to use soon enough. As you can see, this place is dark, and I didn't mean to talk to Skuntank, I meant to talk to the fact that Electabuzz can light up the darkness, which we're going to need to do. There's also a Sandshrew here. We're going to actually need that Sandshrew soon, though, because if you head down here, there's a thing here, but we can't touch it because we can't see. So let's be able to touch it by using Flash, and you'll see exactly what we have to do with that strange patch of dirt over there, because it is actually supposed to be a patch of dirt, in case you were wondering. Basically, we need a move called Tunnel. And, well, wouldn't you happen to know it, but we have a Pokemon over here called Sandshrew, whose Pokemon ability is Tunnel. So, Drifblim will take you up a floor, Sandshrew will in fact take you down a floor. That's basically the way the Chroma Ruins will work. So, depending on how, although luckily we only have to use Tunnel once, whereas opposed to Drifblim, we have to use up, or elevate every single time we want to go up a floor. So, Sandshrew is relatively more convenient. Also, surprising amount of experience for a little shrew thing. So, usually the Pokemon that are required don't give that much experience, but I guess not this time. So we'll go ahead, use Sandshrew, dig a hole, dig a hole, dig a hole, and from there we can go ahead and actually backtrack to get Electabuzz, because I'm fairly sure we're going to need Electabuzz in a moment. Duskull, I appreciate you trying to body block me, but I don't appreciate it. So, I appreciate it, but I don't. So we will go ahead, grab this Electabuzz, and from here we can head down to the, I guess, basement 1 floor or something? I don't know. Because the floors aren't exactly named. But basically there's going to be several different floors of this area. And as we go about exploring here, we're going to have to head up and down several times. Gonna be a long episode. Possibly going to be a 2-part episode. Based on how short this episode's time is, you probably already know right now whether or not it's one or the other. But it's gonna be a bit of a lengthy one, so buckle in, kids. Well, kids and adults. Pokemon's for everyone, but buckle in. We're gonna be having a wild ride here as we take on this dungeon of sorts. I mean, these are kind of the equivalent of dungeons. You kind of use a Zelda sort of reference. So we have a Electabuzz, we have a Hypno. Luckily, we can actually kind of use one of them right here with a. You're not the Hypno I used, you fraud! How dare you? The thing is, I actually kind of want a second Hypno, so it's kind of unfortunate this Hypno is kind of, doing this right now, but whatever, we'll get the Hypno out of the way now, because, actually a second Hypno really won't be very useful right now anyway, so I'm not even mad. Basically, we're going to get through here, we're going to S-rank this, we're going to, discard one of these Hypnos, and we're going to use the other Hypno to get past the Psi-Power door here. Because as you can see, this door requires actually just 1 Psi-Power, so a Duskull would have been good enough, but Hypno, come on, it's Hypno. If you need 1 Psi-Power, why not use 2? Just the extra dose of Psi-Power to really obliterate that door. I don't know, I just felt like using Hypno. Because I couldn't remember if it was a Psi 1 or Psi 2 door. Anyways, we'll open that door, and that'll actually give us access to a Pokemon we could have backtracked more to get. Another Pupitar, which, lo and behold, we actually do need another Pupitar. So, we're going to capture another Pupitar, basically. So I guess the Psi-Power you could skip altogether. It just kind of gives you another method of, or basically just makes you not have to backtrack as much, which is appreciated, I suppose, but I mean, you kind of have to know that you're right. Oh no, there's a Hypno right there though, so you don't really need the Psi-Power immediately anyway. So I guess in the end, it just doesn't really matter. You can get the Psi-Power right outside the door anyway, so it really just is a shortcut in the end. A slightly inconvenient shortcut, but a shortcut nonetheless. So we get ourselves a second Pupitar. All is fine and dandy in the world of Pokemon. And we have a full inventory, unfortunately, so I would add Sandshrew and Hypno back into our parties, because we are going to need both of them, but we can clear things out a bit first and go from there. Because as you can see, it's dark, and that will make us unable to basically use our Crush power. So first, you can use Flash to light up the area, and then we can use Pupitar to crush the rock. After that, we'll have, you know, our slots filled, or not filled anymore. So we can now see, hey, it's Crush 2, we can now use Pupitar to get the Crush 2. so on and so forth. And then we're going to need a Sandshrew, and we're going to need another Hypno. So we can actually backtrack to the previous screen and grab both those Pokemon, and avoid the ones that are trying to hunt us down slowly but surely. So another Hypno is going to be needed. Well, Hypno apparently feels like running away like a pansy, even though he bum rushed us earlier. Hypno, why you do this? Why can't we just be friends? Come on, get the... There we go. For some reason, like, when I have to do this recording, where I guess like, just the way I'm holding the 3DS right now, it's just really hard to hold my stylus steady or something, because I have a lot of trouble when I'm recording, apparently charging the styler. It's going to be interesting to see how effective I am. Recording and doing this at the same time is definitely harder than it sounds. Anyway, where's my Hypno? Where'd my Hypno be at? Yo, he's over up here. He's being a douche, basically. Hypno, I need your hip. There we go. Jeez, what a hipster. Ha! That wasn't even close to a joke. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead, make our charge thing, and then just basically circle him to death pretty quickly, even though we're not killing them remotely. And I have a tendency, apparently, today to just kind of take my jokes and ruin them by myself. Don't even need you guys to ruin my jokes today. I can do it by myself. Look, Dad, no training wheels. I can ruin my own jokes. Anyway, so now we have a Hypno and a Sandshrew. We should be able to make it pretty far into where we need to go. First of all, we head down here. And actually, the Hypno, I'm pretty sure we can get somewhere else anyway. Also, we have Coffeens. If you remember, Team Dimsun did have them last time, so we have no reason to capture them. But apparently, we're going to anyway. Also, there was a Sandshrew here, so I could have dealt with that then as well. But anyway, I've seen how Coffeen works. There is one interesting thing about Coffeens in the wild. I actually kind of want to take some time to show that, just because I think it's actually fairly interesting. So I'll show you guys what I'm talking about in just a second. But we're actually making fairly quick progress in the Chroma Ruins already. We're about at the halfway point, so all things considered, not too terrible. We're gonna go ahead and release the Coffeen. Release the Coffeen! Actually, another Sandshrew would be good. So I think, if I remember correctly. So we're gonna go ahead and dig up this hole, because I'm pretty sure there's a Sandshrew down there that we can use, but I want to show off something anyway, and there's a Sandshrew over here we can use. So if I can make this work, so yeah, if you... Oh, I guess we'll just show up the Pikachu. If he does do his Poison Claw like that, it will actually poison the battle screen like this. It's kind of interesting. It doesn't really affect anything as far as I can tell. If it does, someone leave a comment, because I don't honestly know if it actually changes anything or not. It just kind of makes a poisoning sort of atmosphere. I don't know. I'm not sure if it makes the Pokemon worse or makes you worse or hurts you over time. I'm not sure, but as long as we have Pikachu, may as well charge up our thing a little bit, because I want to get this. Oh, I guess that was a Pikachu, not a Sandshrew over there. I apparently confused Pokemon. Well, whatever. I showed off what I wanted to show off. I do believe there is a Sandshrew we can use over here anyway, and indeed there is. Buy more Crush 2 rocks. So we're gonna have to once again use Crush 2 to get over there. Although that's actually the way we're gonna be backtracking. We're getting more into the mazy sort of part. Although I use the term maze loosely because it's not that much of a maze. As long as you know the... I mean, this is certainly the first case of really having to think about your assists, but it's still not that maze-like. It's annoying. I don't like the fact that you have to use Pokemon transition between floors. It's a little bit obnoxious, and once again, Crush 2. But it's something we can deal with. Also, Kirlia's here, so I'm going to go ahead and quickly use the Sandshrew here, which there is a thing to tunnel over here. You're going to obviously want to go in the top one, not the bottom one, because the bottom one will not lead us exactly to where we want to go, although we can do that. Where's this Kirlia, though? Kirlia, I want to add you to my browser, and it actually has a really unique power that we have seen before in previous Ranger games, but we haven't seen in this one yet, so we'll actually demonstrate that, even though it's going to be kind of a pain in the butt to do. And Kirlia, speaking of which, is kind of a pain in the butt to capture, because it will continue to teleport around, and you will just not have many opportunities. Basically, whenever you're not circling, whenever circling is not working against her, she's about to teleport. So, as you can see, she's so close, but can't do anything about that. And hopefully she just doesn't teleport on your line, which she has a tendency to... Really, you're gonna teleport again? I swear to God, if you're all your energies... Yeah, your energy... Let me capture you! She's annoying, because she'll just keep teleporting and it'll drain her energy back, and then it's like, well, I made all that progress for nothing. But Kirlia has access to the teleport power, which will take you back to the beginning of a dungeon or whatever sort of area you're in. So if I was to use it, perhaps, per se, right now, Kirlia would then go ahead and take us back all the way to the beginning. Yeah, I know that was a complete waste of my time, but I wanted to show it off, so... Yeah, I hope so too, Keith. It'd be a shame if I teleported us back to the beginning of the area. Ugh. It's all my fault. But yeah, it doesn't take too long to get back. I'm not even gonna bother cutting because it's gonna be like 30 seconds. So all you need to really do is just run over here, head down here, fall in the hole, head to the left, fall down that hole, and then we're back to where we go. So the Chroma Ruins may seem intimidating just because of all the pre-thought you have to have to it, but really it's a fairly simple area. You just need to know how to navigate it properly, which, to be fair, is easier said than done, but it's doable. So just follow what I'm doing in the guide and it'll generally be okay. And even then, like, I'm catching Pokemon even earlier than you need to. There's some cases where, like, the Hypno I'm pretty sure I can capture somewhere else. Heck, I could have gone and gotten a Pupitar to head to the right there, but it loops around anyway, so it doesn't really particularly matter. I don't think I need this Drifblim for anything. That being said, I do have an open slot, so let's just go ahead and grab one now. Like I've said, it's really key just to have, you know, just to preemptively grab the Pokemon. Also, if you really just want the extra slots, you really do not need Muck or Tarim in your party. A lot of side quests are actually going to take us back to those areas anyway, so you can complete the side quests. You can get the Tarim and the Muck when you go back and complete those side quests. So me keeping them in the party for this long really was kind of pointless. It saves a little bit of time, but not enough for it to really have been significant. Anyway, this top hole will lead us over here to a thing that we unfortunately need Tackle 3 for. In other words, we need to find another Bastiodon. Otherwise, we have to hop down here. We could head back up here with Elevate if we need to. There is a Hypno down here, so we could have used that Hypno if I didn't have one already, because we are going to need a Hypno very soon. But head over here first. Use Elevate over here, because this will lead us to somewhere that we actually need to go to, which is over by to the right of basically where we used to be. But we're up above this cliff here. And over here is a side 2 door, which we need Hypno for. So everything's kind of coming full circle here. However, we get a cutscene where Keith is mentioning a nose-twisting stench. And that's because the Pokemon behind this door is going to be very important and very stinky. And it's kind of interesting how it ends up working out. So, Hypno will go ahead and melt the door. It takes a little bit longer than the door before because we're actually using Psi 2 power instead of Psi 1 power this time. But, oh, that door, by the way, was Psi 2. I didn't actually show that off. Only Hypno can break that door. Duskull cannot. That one actually is a 2 power door. Because the blue ones are, ow! Whoa! 6 damage, that's rude. Basically, by the way, Skuntank is in here. But, anyway, like I was saying, red ones are Psi Power 2, blue ones are Psi Power 1, I think yellow is Psi Power 3. We're actually going to see a Psi Power 3 door, at some point soon. Also, my voice, in case you're wondering, is still a little bit, I don't know, I've just had, like, this cough for months now. It's just one of those coughs that never goes away. So I do apologize if my voice just seems a little weird at times. That'll be the why I said that. But Skuntank will release a bunch of poison. He'll also constantly release poison as he walks around, and he'll do the traditional poison puddle thing. Basically, it's pretty easy to loop around those though, so in the end, you shouldn't have too much trouble, I think. It's still a relatively easy capture. So it has the Pokemon power Stench. We're going to actually need use of that very soon, so keep that guy in your party. We're going to need him.